The story opens with an unnamed man driving his bike on the hills. He saw a truck in front of him with a vending machine. He saw the straps holding the vending machine tearing down. For some reason, he needs to save the vending machine. But he forgot about the turn. As a result, he went flying down the hill while hugging the vending machine. He wakes up and sees a lake in front of him. He thinks he's lucky to survive and tries to get up, but his body doesn't move. He tries to scream for help, but the only words that come out are "hello there." He realizes that it's his voice and tries to say other words, but all he says are pre-recorded vending machine. He realizes that he reincarnates into another world as a vending machine, the worst possible thing to being reborn as the vending machine. He discovers that he contains options to upgrade himself from points accumulated by customers spending money. Unfortunately, it also costs points to charge his power supply, and without a customer, he will lose power in 1 month. Then suddenly he sees some movement in the water. He happily thinks it's a client, but turns out it's a frog-like monster. He thought the frog was his first customer, so he played his pre-recorded voice "hello there." The frog panicked and backed down just to smack him. He took damage, and his durability was reduced by the same amount. The fog continued to strike, damaging him. The frog decided to call 3 more frogs with bats and axes, but he discovers a blessing from God that generates a protective barrier. He activates the skill, and the barrier knocks the frogs away. But they don't give up. They get up and start hitting again the barrier. After a full day, they finally give up and walk away and leave him alone. A human hunter named Lammis later appears, suffering from hunger and thirst. She then notices the vending machine, who develops a way of communicating in which his stock phrases mean other things. He helps provide her with food and water to save her. As her blessing is strength, Lammis decides to carry him, revealing they are in a dungeon on a secure level where adventurers have built a village. Arriving there, she introduces to him to the village guards, Karios and Gorth, and she convinces them to buy products from him. She does not intend to sell the vending machine when the guard proposed this idea. Lammis decides to show him to her friend Hulami on the surface, but without money for the teleportation circle, she takes him to an inn where her friend Munami works, and introduces him to Munami and her co-worker Okami. Lammis intends to earn money for the teleportation. Meanwhile, the new vending machine is placed outside and becomes popular with adventurers, and he gains many points, allowing him to upgrade his items. The girl from earlier also briefly antagonizes him. At night, Lammis brings him to the watchtower for Karios and Gorth to use, and he changes his products when they get bored of his old ones. Lammis acquires a frame to carry him on her back and names him Boxo. Director Bear, an actual bear who is the director of the Hunters Association, asks Lammis to bring Boxo as food support for a large hunt to exterminate frog fiends, the monsters that tried to attack Boxo before. Carry Oil, leader of the party Menagerie of Fools, takes an interest in Boxo, who decides he cannot be trusted. He has his assistant Filmina examine Boxo, but she detects no magical powers inside him. Meanwhile, Lammis becomes friends with a huntress named Shui, who can eat a lot. Boxo decides to join the fight to protect Lammis with his barrier. Lammis discovers that with Boxo on her back as a counterweight, her usually poor control of her strength is negated. After the battle, Boxo provides free sports drinks to the injured. Director Bear believes a king frog fiend is nearby and takes the remaining hunters to find it. That night, a devious hunter tries to break open Boxo to steal his items, so Boxo burns him with scalding soup, and he is punished by Lammis for trying to rob Boxo. The king frog fiend appears to attack the injured, but Boxo provides cola and some mints which, after a confusing attempt to communicate with Lammis, become explosive when combined, and they use it to blind the king in time for the hunters to return and slay it. With the hunt over, everyone returns to the village victorious. The party returns to the village, only to find it has been destroyed by a monster that resembles a 2-headed snake. Used to such things, the citizens kill the monster and begin rebuilding. Carry Oil asks Lammis and Boxo to join his party, but Lammis refuses. Akoi from the Merchants Exchange reveals the village is running out of silver coins which are inside Boxo. To get them back into circulation, she proposes buying them back with gold. Unfortunately, Boxo cannot perform exchanges, though Lammis realizes by buying items with gold, Boxo can return silver as change, which satisfies Akoi. Boxo adds a gambling function that gets an elderly man in trouble with his wife. Director Bear asks Boxo to help Shirley, a brothel owner, where diseases are becoming a problem, so Boxo sells her condoms. Suori, the same girl that Lammis saved before, tries to vandalize Boxo by stuffing rocks into him, but he stops her and her men take her away. He also later forgives her as she misses her absent father. Boxo also begins selling soap at the public baths. The same elderly man comes to see Boxo again along with his granddaughter May. While May's mother reconciles with her grandmother, May tries out Boxo's gambling function and wins a free water bottle, which she gives to her grandfather. Director Bear asks Boxo to use his camouflage skill to catch criminals in the act. While disguised, Boxo overhears Swarry trying to buy him from Lammas, who refuses, but Swarry is still determined to own Boxo one day. Boxo is overwhelmed with emotion by this and reveals himself after Swarry leaves. Boxo is kidnapped by thieves, including Gugoyle, the hunter who tried to break him open previously. Around this time, he upgrades his durability when they try to damage him. They take him to their hideout with a kidnapped magic item engineer, who turns out to be Lammas's friend Hulami. She and Boxo quickly become friends, and with her expertise, she realizes Boxo contains a human soul. That night, the thieves sneak in to attack Hulami, but Boxo persuades them to leave by dispensing pornographic magazines. The thieves' leader gives her 2 days to break Boxo open or she will die. Boxo helps her out by providing her with food and bath supplies to clean herself. Shortly before the deadline, the hideout is attacked by Lammas and the Hunters Association in search for Boxo. The attack sets off explosives that buries Boxo and Hulami under rubble. They survive inside Boxo's shield, while he also provides Hulami some oxygen when she begins to suffocate from the thin air. Hulami also uses coins from the thieves' stash to give him enough power to maintain his shield. Lammas eventually finds and reunites with Boxo and Hulami. Carryoil is revealed to have uncharacteristically aided in Boxo's rescue for free by capturing the thieves, though he insists it is a ploy to eventually have Boxo join the menagerie of fools and help Carryoil achieve his dream. While Lammas is happily embracing Boxo, Hulami reveals that Lammas hates losing people since her and Hulami's parents were killed in a monster attack. It turns out she had also refused to eat or sleep until she has found Boxo. While Lammas is gone, Swarry arrives and tells Hulami there will be a gathering of merchant families and their magic item engineers. A girl from a rival family named Kanashi will be there, so she asks Hulami to pretend to be her engineer and Boxo as her latest magic item. Many of the inventions aren't very impressive, which bores Hulami. Kanashi's engineer presents an automaton that obeys orders. Hulami is outraged as it was made with a mind-controlled human soul, which is against the law as an invention like this almost destroyed a whole town. When the automaton goes berserk, Hulami helps free the trapped soul, allowing it to pass on to the afterlife. Kanashi's engineer is shocked seeing that she was able to deactivate it so quickly, but when she reveals who she is, the other engineers recall the incidents she caused in the past, to her annoyance. As such, Kanashi is disqualified for having an illegal invention, leaving Swarry the winner to the former's anger, although Boxo feels ignored. Later, the village's restaurant owners panic when a popular restaurant called Chains opens a branch, so they ask Boxo for help. Chains offers for Boxo, Lammas, and Hulami to work at their restaurant, but they decline. After Lammas and Hulami discover Chains' food is low quality, Boxo provides several novel items, which the chefs reverse engineer so they can make them themselves. The owners of Chains are outraged when the customers are interested in Boxo's foods instead of theirs. Chains goes out of business in only 1 month. Carryoil asks Boxo and Lammas to join a campaign. Despite Boxo's mistrust, he decides to accompany Lammas as she wishes to keep improving her abilities. By providing free ingredients to make home-cooked Odin, Boxo facilitates love between a shy shopkeeper and Gorth. Spring arrives and Carryoil's party is organized to check the population of crocodile fiends. Boxo provides a portable toilet with a privacy tent, which the ladies are grateful for. Carryoil claims that bringing Boxo was a good idea, but the others do not give him credit for it. He then decides to cull the crocodile fiends to prevent them from hunting humans. Hulami reveals to Boxo that Director Bear asked her to look out for a Stratum Lord, a rare monster similar to a dungeon boss. Almost immediately, the Crocodile Lord appears, forcing everyone to flee with an unconscious Lammas and leave Boxo behind. Boxo dispenses fried chicken to distract it, but is himself swallowed. Safe inside his barrier, Boxo floods the Lord's stomach with cleaning chemicals and gas, and then creates a spark by heating a tin can inside his microwave function, causing an explosion that kills the Lord, which the others notice. Boxo receives a valuable coin as a reward, but magic leaking from the Lord's bones collapses the ground under him. As he plummets into an even lower stratum, all Boxo can think about is a distraught Lammas. Boxo lands in the next stratum, a giant maze. Defeating the Lord has given him 1 million points, which he spends leveling up to a rank 2 vending machine. However, he is low on energy due to him changing his shape too much. He is disappointed that the coin he received is just a medal proving he killed a Lord. As a rank 2, he unlocks a solar panel to recharge his power without spending points. Eventually, he encounters 4 young creatures called Bearcats, Suko, Pell, Short, and McKenna. From their conversation, Boxo deduces they are seeking treasure in the maze since they must eat a lot to survive. Unfortunately, they do not realize Boxo is conscious and trying to speak to them, so they plan to sell him to Chains. They are attacked by a colossal flame skeletitan, the maze Stratum Lord, but the Bearcats escape with Boxo. Despite Bakso dispensing useful items to help them, they still do not realize he is conscious. As they reach the maze exit, they encounter Lammas and the Menagerie of Fools, who found their own way here and are thrilled they finally found Bakso. They reveal that Lammas is furious with Carry Oil for abandoning Bakso and forced everyone to help find him. The Bearcats ally with the hunters and are dumbfounded when Director Bear explains about Bakso's consciousness and unique method of speaking. Carry Oil asks Bakso to help defeat the Skeleton, revealing the Menagerie of Fools believe a legend that anyone who receives a coin from defeating a stratum lord, then makes it all the way to the lowest stratum, will be granted a wish by God. They need 6 coins in total, but only have 3 so far. Bakso is intrigued as it could mean he can use his own coin to become human, though he also fears losing his usefulness as a vending machine. As the maze possesses its own traps, they plan to drop the Skeleton into a large pit which they spend days filling with Bakso's water and ice to extinguish the Skeleton's protective flames. Bakso also adds dry ice so the carbon dioxide smothers the flames even faster. Once the Skeleton falls down the pit, Bakso tricks Lammas into knocking him down there as well by taking the form of a pornographic vending machine so he can use his weight to kill it. After dispensing helium balloons to lift himself out, Bakso receives the Skeleton's coin but happily sells it to a grateful Carry Oil for 100 gold. Lammas isn't happy with Bakso's ploy, but Hulami reminds them that it was still helpful. The group stop at the Maze Stratum's Hunters Association headquarters. While the Menagerie of Fools return to Clearflow Lake Village, Director Bear asks Lammas and Hulami to begin mapping the maze. Mishuel, a young handsome hunter, begins working in the maze as well. However, once alone, Bakso witnesses Mishuel's real personality where he is nervous and lacks confidence. Mishuel joins their group, even though it means working together for 3 weeks with his terrible communication skills. Lammas becomes unwell from getting her period, so Bakso dispenses menstrual pads and transforms into a washing machine to clean her clothes. The experience actually brings Mishuel out of his shell. After another week, they encounter assassins sent to kill Mishuel for a mysterious reason linked to his past. Although he didn't want Lammas and Bakso involved, they persuade him by having him use his attack on Bakso's shield to prove that they aren't helpless, although this costs Bakso a lot of points. Bakso takes the form of a car wash pump, and with his help, they are easily defeated. Mishuel decides to leave, but Lammas suggests he join the Menagerie of Fools since they will not care about his past and will welcome his strength in battle. The group finally return home and find in Bakso's absence, Chains has been using fake vending machines to sell their low-quality food, though with Bakso's return, they are quickly exposed and shut down. The Restaurant Owners Union decide to hold an eating competition to attract people back to the village, which has finally been rebuilt. This backfires when Shui and the Bearcats, who can eat a lot, enter the contest. Afraid for their profits, the union begs Bakso's help, so he dispenses fizzy cola, which, if drunk by the contestants, will fill them faster and limit how much they can eat. Munami acts as the host of the contest and reveals a gift, the box that contains a prize for the winner. Lammas, Karios, Gorth, Shirley, and Akawi also take part in the contest, while Bakso provides background music. After an intense multi-round contest of fried meats, cola, and fruit crepes, Shui wins the contest, but finds the gift box empty. Munami reveals that the real prize is free access to Bakso for 24 hours. Carry Oil and Filmina both still hope to use Bakso, but Shui refuses to share him. With Lammas carrying Bakso, Shui takes them to the Origin Stratum, to which Carry Oil declines going there, which confuses Bakso. That's closest to the surface, which houses an orphanage and uses her free 24 hours to feed, wash, clothe, and entertain the children. Bakso provides the kids with balloons and a shower of water for them to play in. When the kids forget to prepare the bath, Bakso helps provide them with water. Shui explains the Origin Stratum acts as a sort of test to allow access to lower stratums, meaning that it tends to collect people not strong enough to survive yet, like children whose parents died during the test. At night, bandits try to steal Bakso's items, but he takes their photos, then scares them away with mist, ice, and creepy music. The orphanage director, a retired hunter stronger than Carry Oil, later takes care of the bandits to protect the children, scaring Bakso a little. The Menagerie of Fools ask Bakso to accompany them to Dead's Lament, a stratum of undead which scares Lammas, but she is still needed for the mission as she's the only one who can carry Bakso. Filmina chooses not to come along as she doesn't like Dead's Lament. Lammas faints upon meeting the creepy guild secretary as Hulami puts Bakso outside. When the dead wander about overnight, Bakso unsuccessfully tries to get rid of them. The guild secretary explains that they envy the living and often peer in windows as though trying to enter, but are harmless as long as the living stay indoors at night. To get over her fear, Hulami tells Lammas to go shopping alone, but she clings to Bakso terrified. Bakso tries to comfort her, but Hulami, who apparently knows what Bakso is up to, discourages him from doing so. Eventually, Bakso helps Lammis overcome her fear with coffee smells and music. The other members of the Menagerie of Fools, Michuel, and the Bearcats later join them. Carryoil plans to hunt the Stratum Lord, King of Souls. As night arrives again, Bakso encounters an undead child called a corpse fiend, seemingly asking for a drink. Curious by the sign of potential intelligence, Bakso dispenses a bottle and is amazed when the boy attempts to drink it, and the same thing happens several nights in a row. One night, the Menagerie of Fools camp outside the village, and the same boy follows them to see Bakso, who fails to save him as he is killed by AKA and Shiro. Bakso realizes the boy had been carrying a copper coin in an attempt to buy something, and is deeply saddened as Mikan explains the boy's true intentions, causing AKA and Shiro to realize their mistake. Carryoil reveals King of Souls is a magic user, so their plan to defeat it will rely heavily on Bakso's impenetrable barrier. He agrees to help. The party locates the King of Souls, a skeleton possessing intelligence. They defeat his army of flame skulls, corpse fiends, and skeleton fiends. Relying on her strength, Lammis avoids his spells before using Bakso to crush the king. The king is revealed to only have been a fragment of an even more powerful undead, the Netherlord. He proves to be a very strong opponent. Hulemi and Shui are killed trying to protect Lammis, which sends her into a rage until Bakso calms her. Deciding to trust herself, Lammis puts Bakso down to use all her strength and destroys Netherlord's staff. An impressed Netherlord retreats, daring Lammis to come find him again. Bakso becomes an emergency defibrillator and spends all his available points acquiring the telekinesis skill to operate it himself, reviving Hulemi and Shui. They return home to inform Director Bear of the Netherlord, revealed as one of the Demon Lord's generals. He contacts the directors of each stratum to begin assembling an army of the most skilled adventurers to combat this powerful foe. The citizens are all impressed with Bakso's actions, especially Swori, who decides to give up trying to get Bakso. Carryoil considers abandoning his goal to ensure the party's safety, but they convince him to keep going. Michuel is upset by his loss against the Netherlord, but the Bearcats encourage him to not lose hope, and he vows not to be defeated again. Lammis takes Bakso to the spot she first found him and thanks him for everything. Hulemi and Shui secretly follow, and thank Bakso by kissing his screen. Jealous, Lammis kisses him too before the girls chase each other around. Bakso decides life as a vending machine is not so bad.
How was the video? We hope it was good. If so, please check these videos. Also, please comment down your thoughts and your suggestions for future videos. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing now to show the support to our channel. We hope to see you soon with another video right in this channel. Have a nice day.